Welcome back to TWU Local 591 podcast. My name is Gary Scheidel, your local president. This is our weekly membership video update podcast. So joining me today is your administrative executive board member, Russ Dittmer. All right, Russ, you want to handle the benefits update from Tony Lepore?
Sure, Gary. Benefits coordinator Tony Lepore wanted to relay an oddity in most of the state worker compensation benefits. Those benefits are not usually calculated on your hourly wage rate, but instead are calculated by calculating your average weekly wage for a period of prior weeks at the time of injury. The actual number of weeks prior to the injury that the state goes back for the calculation varies widely from state to state. Usually this isn't much of an issue because most workers' comp cases and benefits happen at or near the time of injury. But what this also means is if the workers' comp related injury happened several years ago and you have worker comp related surgery today, for example, for that prior injury, you will receive your workers' comp benefits based upon the AWW, the average weekly wage at the time of the injury and not at your current averaged wage rate. That's an important one to realize.
Yeah, that could be a substantial difference in pay, especially the way our pay has escalated.
So I'm going to jump into ASAP and compliance. Just a reminder from our ASAP compliance coordinators. The FAA is performing more and more on-site checks of airplanes. And seriously, don't give them the easy, low-hanging fruit. What we mean by that is what you may think is a minor task is not a minor task. There's no such thing. If it's on the check, it's on the check for a reason. Everything on the assigned work card is required. That means checking the expiration dates on kits and bottles and vests, etc. Replenishing ACARS paper, replenishing spare bulb kits. These and any other seemingly minor tasks are required to be properly accomplished and documented. Also, whenever you take any action to replace or replenish, that also needs to be documented. Yeah, that also includes spare bulb kits and ACARS paper, those kinds of things as well. Document everything.
So I'll jump into the safety report which is primarily the tech ops injuries for May 8th. So this is just TWU as of May 8th. 594 total injuries. 368 of them were AMTs, 128 were MLS, 59 were facilities maintenance, 33 GSE maintenance, and 6 utility. Mike Cochran also reported that the 787 Hellhole stand new platform swing gates have all been delivered. They should all be installed by this time. Jump into Brian Coyne's grievance update. So Vice President Brian Coyne reported that he is working with the TWU International GRB appointee, Jason Best, to ensure that all TWU related grievances handled by the association are provided to TWU 591 for closure. This includes grievances that may have been initiated by the IAM because they are listed as an IAM station in Appendix B of the applicable TWU IAM Association Constitution. I'll also jump into Chris Horvath's field trip report. So he reported for the week of May 8th, 32 line field trips and 9 base field trips. Russ?
So next is membership meetings. Due to a scheduling conflict, we needed to reschedule the Central Region ORD national membership meetings, but we were able to make a floor safety and compliance walk at the hangar in Chicago possible. That was awesome.
Yes, it was.
At the time of this, the next membership meeting will be in the Central Region in ORD on May 18th. After that, the next national membership meeting will be in the Southeast Region in Miami on Thursday, May 21st. And just as a reminder, whenever Wi-Fi is available, the national membership meetings are available via Zoom webinar as well. Please take the time to watch the membership meetings as they're going on. I'm going to jump into the GSE facilities update as well. Title II E-Board member Santos Dorda reported that ORD is planning to test a tablet-based maintenance manual system soon, and they are also apparently going to test a new time card system. On the MLS side, Title V E-Board member John Benke reported that management is watching stores' processing volumes. We do not have time quotas. That's a fact. but we are also here to work. If you have parts or tooling that is taking a significant amount of time or more time than you usually would to process, make sure you document why. If you're having issues processing parts or tooling, contact your crew chief to make sure they are aware and can explain why to management if and whenever management asks about any possible processing issues.
All right, so let me cover a topic of IFE engineers, as they like to call themselves, and MCTs. This really came as a result of the visit floor walk in Chicago. So a number of our folks asked a question about being assigned to work with IFE engineers. First off, they're really not engineers. They're really just a remnant of what we had prior to the JCBA when we captured all the IFE work within the AMT scope. The way this should work, those IFE folks should never be on an aircraft alone. They are not permitted to perform any maintenance, which includes any troubleshooting, system or component testing, or component performance monitoring, etc. Those IFE folks need to stay in their office until a tech crew chief asks them to assist with the troubleshooting challenge. Even then, the tech crew chief and the IFE folks should never accomplish any of the actual testing, troubleshooting, maintenance, or repairs. That is AMT work. When we captured this IFE work and they wanted to keep the IFE engineers, that was to train the trainer. That was the entire purpose, was to train the tech crew chiefs who would help train our folks on the floor through OJT, and not for IFE engineers to be there perpetually to accomplish work behind our backs. So if you see any IFE person ever performing any work, use your tablet, take photos, and file a grievance. That's our AMT work. Same standards apply to maintenance control technicians, MCTs, if they arrive at your station. MCTs are not perform AMT work. They are expected to coordinate with the tech crew chiefs and crew chiefs to ensure we are all working within our scope of our classifications. Some of our board members traveled to Washington, D.C. to attend the biannual TWU Legislative Conference. This is an event every 2 years when TWU hosts members to personally lobby the federal government on new targeted topics. When we say lobbying, we mean actually scheduling meetings at offices with senators and representatives speaking with one voice on specific issues. The TWU members' lobbying primarily was scheduled to meet with the members of Congress in their own state if possible. This means that in some states, most who the members talked with were Republican offices. In other states, most were Democrat offices. It didn't matter. The focus in these in-person lobbying efforts is bipartisan support and not at all related to party affiliation. If you recall in the past, the primary topics included pushing for the FAA reauthorization bill, which included our offshoring and outsourcing protection languages. This was a significant win, with our in-person lobbying being quite effective. This year, one of our two topics we spoke on was the pro-worker and pro-safety surface transportation reauthorization. That protects all workers from assault on the job, establishes federal safety standards for autonomous vehicles, and raises safety levels in our freight rail network. And the other topic for this year that we spoke on was the no tax on overtime for all workers bill. Currently, workers in first responders jobs and those covered by the Railway Labor Act were excluded from this tax benefit. While we couldn't confirm previously, it was confirmed in one of our congressional offices that workers not covered by the Fair Labor Standards Act, which includes us in the Railway Labor Act, but also many first responders like police and firemen, were intentionally left out to lower the overall cost of the bill. These bipartisan bills, House Resolution H.R. 5475 and the identical Senate bill, which is 4310, would fix the previous issue and provide tax relief to all in Local 591, as well as many other previously excluded work groups. It's particularly interesting that the leading co-sponsors in both the Senate and the House are literally about as far apart in the political extreme spectrum as you can currently imagine. With Republican Representative Nicole Maliotakis from New York and Senator Jim Justice from West Virginia, and Democrat Representative Emilio Sykes from Ohio, and Senator Maria Cantwell from Washington State. Russ?
Yeah, one of the topics brought up was the technology in the COPE Legislative Conference. Labor and technology expert Ed Witkin presented what should be a very concerning advance in robotics. What was once impossible is now a reality. In robotics, the dexterity of the human hand has been a huge hurdle to advancing their use of robotics. Now they have engineered robots with very high levels of dexterity for walking, pushing, lifting, etc. The next generation robots also can now handle, manage, and manipulate tools. We at Local 591 have been and continue watching this very closely, and we are already planning to reach out to Ed and his team for effective contract negotiation strategies and draft contract language to protect workers from robotic displacement.
Yeah, I would say that what we saw in the video of a robot being able to push a cargo container onto the cargo lifter like it was nothing, that's come a long ways.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of jobs that are hanging in the balance with some of this technology. So we do need to protect these jobs in negotiations. So finally, a reminder, we at Local 591 have a Facebook page and also YouTube page. Please subscribe to them and get updates and notifications when new information is posted. So this is our podcast for this week. Anything else, Russ?
That's it.
All right. As always, any thoughts, issues, suggestions for future podcasts, please send them to info@local591.com. Hope you all have a great week and please stay safe.
Stay safe.